That's right. Nope, it is not clickbait. I sold the restaurant and we are gonna celebrate. I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna explain to you guys everything that I did. How did I sell the restaurant? How much did I sell the restaurant for? I already know I got 50,000 questions that you guys got. And I'm gonna answer all of them for you. But first, we got some celebration to do. Hey!
This is the rhythm, 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 rhythm. This is the rhythm, 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 rhythm. This is the rhythm, 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 rhythm. This is the rhythm, 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 rhythm. This is the rhythm, 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 rhythm of the night.
Nice like Fuego, about to spin a dinero. Party to the extremo, 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 extremo. Ritmo.
That's right, guys. We are celebrating a victory. This is good champagne. This is the good stuff bubbling. That's good. Yes, we're gonna celebrate. And I'm gonna explain to you guys everything that I did. So you guys know, this channel is dedicated to economic empowerment through entrepreneurship. And so, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's a little bittersweet, kind of like this champagne. It's a little bittersweet.
Even though I left you, I can't forget you. 'Cause when I think about you, it's bittersweet, it's bittersweet. Yes, I'll always love you. It's bittersweet, it's bittersweet. When we were together, you ain't treat me right.
Yes, just like the champagne, it's a little bittersweet. Man, where do I start? First, I want to say this. For all of you guys that supported me, that encouraged me, that believed in me, I want to appreciate you guys so much. The encouragement was so much more louder than a lot of the haters and a lot of the criticism and a lot of the critics. Even though sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but I know that there was more love than there was hate. And I want to first thank you guys so much for all of that. So cheers to all of the supporters. All right, so let's get into it. So yes, Dean sold the restaurant. Yes, now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I said, it's a bit bittersweet because you guys remember what the restaurant looked like. You know, this has been a 2-year-long journey, a 2-year-long process. This has been a 2-year-long journey. This has been a 2-year-long process. So the first year, or the first 6 months, actually, really, yeah, the first year, we did a complete renovation on the project. You guys remember what it used to look like. At least some of you, as a matter of fact, some of you guys don't even remember what it used to look like. Okay. Okay. First got the property, some people were like, wow, This is a turnkey property, man. You got to steal. Yeah, I got to steal, but at the same time, it was not turnkey. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making Atlanta Lights as top-notch and classy as it is.
Atención chismosos.
So, where do I begin? So, thing number one is this. Whenever you are looking to purchase real estate, or whenever you're looking to start an investment, location is key. Location, location, location. And the reality is, I did not originally create Atlanta Lights to sell it so quickly to do a flip. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Originally, my idea and my goal was to create it, turn it to a franchise, and to build it out, to use that as some of my retirement strategy, and to create an inheritance for my children's children. That was the original plan for Atlanta Lights, to keep it in the family. And so from day one, I've had people wanting to take Atlanta Lights off my hands. You guys remember, I think it was the first person was like, man, that's my spot. I give you $1,000 and you just let me take it over, let me get it. And I'm like, we ain't paying attention to that. That was the first offer that really wasn't a real offer. That was just some foolishness. There was no real offer. Then after the first year of us building and renovating the property and marketing the property, and before we had even opened, that's when I started to get fillers out from other individuals that was in the US. Because normal real estate investment works like this. So let's say, for instance, you find a property that's worth $75,000. No, not worth. Say you find a property that's listed for $75,000. Let's say it's gone through foreclosure, or the owner has a property, they own it free and clear, and they don't want to renovate it, they just want to get rid of it, they just want to get out of it. It's $75,000. Well, let's say after you repair the property, there's something that's called an ARV, which stands for after repair value. So let's say the after repair value of the property is $125,000, right? So the property is worth $75,000. And then the after repair value of the property is $125,000. So then you repair the property. And let's say the property only needs $15,000 worth of repairs. So that means that you're now looking at $90,000 that you're in the property for, because you have to put the repairs of $15,000 into it. So that means that the difference of $125,000 and $90,000 is your profit. So that's your profit. So that means that if you were to sell that property for $125,000, that means that you're going to make a profit of $35,000. Some people don't make that all year. And ideally, the goal is to make that in 90 days when you're doing a real estate flip. That's when you're doing a traditional real estate flip. So what happens with selling a restaurant is a little bit different. So when we first got the property, acquired the property, put in a lot of energy and a lot of effort to renovate the property, to rehab the property, to make it give it that Atlanta style and flair and savoir faire, we started to get a lot of people that was interested, like, okay, like this is a great plot, it's overlooking the ocean. You guys seen it. I ain't gonna go into all of that. So when we opened, you guys remember there was a lot of controversy that happened when we first opened. And some people say that all publicity is good publicity. That thing went viral. Like I said, originally we had people all over the world talking about our grand opening. Because one, the restaurant has been, the place had been sitting vacant for over 5 years. And at the time I had been in the Dominican Republic for 1 year and 7 months when I acquired the property. So I've been sitting for a long time, but sometimes, people see something, but they don't they don't necessarily see the potential that it has. That's why the #1 best-selling book of all time says that without vision, my people perish. So once you have a vision for something and you can see something, that's when you can make it manifest. Now, the #1 thing when it comes to real estate, whether it's purchasing a house, purchasing a commercial property, purchasing a loft, an Airbnb, no matter what type of real estate it is, you make your money when you purchase the property, not when you sell the property. Because as soon as you acquire that property or you acquire that asset, that value is now yours. And the after repair value or the appraised value now goes into your bottom line. You always make, it's the #1 mistake that people make. The two mistakes, I'm going to talk about the two major mistakes when it comes to real estate investing and real estate flipping in this video. The first mistake is that people think they make their money when they sell their property. No, you make your money when you buy your property, when you acquire it. That's the reason why you need to acquire it. If you see a deal, if you see a steal, you need to do any means necessary for you to acquire that property. Because once you have that property, then it's yours. So once we acquired the property, that's when everybody wants to see it. That's when everybody excited to look. Everybody's like, oh wow, that's awesome, that's nice. I didn't even know it was there. And then once you start to, put in the rehab work and you put that investment in, you start to get the attention of a lot of other investors. So after that situation that happened, it went viral. Everybody was looking at us. Everybody was looking at, wow. They was looking at some people knew the before and some people knew the after. Now, the second person that wanted to invest in the property, they actually knew what it looked like before. And when they came to the restaurant, they were blown away. And they really pursued us heavy to join and invest. They really wanted to invest. And when we first started, yes, we did a lot of the cosmetics, but a lot of things were not all the way up to par. Our sound system was not up to par. Our bar was not automatic all the way stocked right then and there. We had CEO cigars, my cigar brand, but we didn't have a full array. We didn't have Cohibas. We didn't have Romeo and Juliet. We did not have Flor de Lis. We didn't have Fuente cigars. We didn't have Drew Estates. We didn't have a lot of what a lot of the cigar aficionados like. In our humidor, the only cigar that we were carrying was E.DeanCole CEO Cigars, my cigar brand. So nevertheless, the second person that wanted to invest, they was like, man, I see so much potential in this place. You guys need a little help when it comes to getting those things that I just mentioned up to par. Let us see your books and then, let us see what we can do. Now, remember, originally, at this time, we had been open for only 4 months. When this investor presented itself, you only been open for 4 months. And I did not feel comfortable because I originally, remember, I said this is something from my children's children. Like I would send videos of us doing rehab and renovation work to my daughter. And I would say, look, baby, your last name is on the sign. Look, baby, your last name is on this cigar. Look, your last name is on this. Like you own this. This is something that you own. Like I would send that. I took great, immense pride in that, saying, baby, you own this. Like this is something that you'll be able to do. And so she got super excited talking about, owning a restaurant and whatnot and being a part of it. My brother did as well. My nieces did as well. Like we put a lot of energy and effort into it. So when the gentleman offered to, either first he wanted to invest, and then when I declined his offer to invest, then he tried to buy us out. And then unfortunately, when I declined his offer to buy us out, he then goes and tries to poison my waitresses and say, this place, I'm gonna shut this place down. I'm gonna open up a restaurant down the street and we're gonna take all the customers and you're gonna come work for me. Cause y'all know I had the baddest chicks in the game. You guys know I had the baddest waitresses in the game. I hand-picked and hand-selected them bad, baby. You understand what I'm talking about? We had the most beautiful girls in the game. And so unfortunately, that drew a lot of attention as well, both good and bad. So nevertheless, let's fast forward and let's talk about 2021. I'm not gonna lie, guys. The pandemic lasted longer than I thought. This was the most difficult thing that I have ever done. When it comes to the employee scams, when it comes to the jealous entrepreneurs that are in the area. Like there's this restaurant. We will call it Sin. We just call it Sin. If you guys are in the Puerto Plata area, there's another restaurant that's a Sin, but I'm not saying the name of it. You guys can put two and two together. If you guys know what it is, type the comment below. But the owner of the restaurant Sin did a full-fledged investigation on me, trying to figure out who I was. But I was like, the property's been sitting vacant for 5 years. Why all of a sudden now everybody want to get this after I done got it and I put my investment in? You know what I'm saying? So that used to bother me. You know, that really did. And so, nevertheless, but one thing I'm so grateful for, I'm good at what I do. And I'm not saying that to boast or brag. I'm just saying that I really love marketing. Like, I love that. Like, I love building. I love construction. I love that. Like, when I cut my teeth as an entrepreneur, I was 18 years old when I flipped my first real estate property. Before YouTube was ever thought of, I bought my first 2-bedroom condo was in Latonia, Georgia, on the lake. I love that. I love building. I love rehabbing. I love that. I love renovating. That's something that I really enjoy doing, that and also marketing. So let's say, now let me answer the question. Like, D, how in the world can you sell this restaurant so quickly? So let's talk about it. So when thing number one, you're in a pandemic and you're doing good. Like on social media, you're doing good. You're getting packed out trips to where you have people that's busting at the seam. You got all these videos going semi-viral. So you have people that see that. Then you have a good reputation of your food because your food has to be top notch. You got people seeing that. You have these 5-star reviews. Then you have your Google Analytics. All of these things add up. So a lot of times people think that social media is just to be looking. No. Social media is called social proof. If you're able to show that you got the hottest thing smoking, you're the #1 restaurant and lounge in your area. And that was a strategy from day one. And it was so crazy. Like I had literally, I had to teach expats, not the travelers, but the people that lived in the city, some other entrepreneurs in the city. They would say like, how arrogant are you? How can you say you're the #1 restaurant and lounge in Puerto Plata? I'm thinking, genius. When you go to Google and you search, what do you search for? The #1 restaurant, the #1 luxury Airbnb, the #1 resort. What's the #1 book? What's the best way to do this? Nobody looks for what's the mediocre way. What's the so-so way? What's the average restaurant? What's the average hookah bar? Nobody searches for that. And it was so weird to me that a lot of people had issue with the fact that on our logo, on our sign, it said Atlanta Lights #1 restaurant and lounge in Puerto Plata. I did that for the search engine optimization for the algorithm so that people would pick it up in Google. It would get picked up on YouTube. It would get picked up on Instagram because that's what matters. It's about business. But so many people got their panties in a bunch. Like they literally got offended. It was like, how dare you say you're the #1 such and such and such and such? Who do you think you are? And it's like, dude, calm down. Like, this is marketing. Like, chill. Like, it's just the craziest thing. It was the craziest thing that people would have their panties so in a knot about my keywords and my research, and realize some of these people some of them were European, some of them were older in their 60s, and some of them don't understand search engine optimization. They don't understand SEO. They don't understand how it works. So nevertheless, the reason why I did it, it worked out. It panned out. You see? So let's take it another step further. So the third offer was an offer that I could not refuse. And let's talk about that. Real talk. Honestly speaking, I am so proud of myself. I'm proud of what I was able to create. I'm proud of what I was able to do. Unfortunately, and I shared this with the owner, with the buyer as well. So what I'm saying is not like it's a bait and switch. Like he has a vision for the location. He's gonna put his vision in the location, and I'm just being transparent. You know what I'm saying? I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So, full disclosure, the same thing that I told him, I'm gonna tell you, which is the reason why I decided to take him up on his offer. When I originally moved to the Dominican Republic, I did not think I was going to own a restaurant. I came here because I love the ocean. I love the travel. I love the beaches. I love being out. I love the freedom and the safety and security I have of living outside the United States. I did not move here so that I could have a regular 9-to-5 job. But when the pandemic happened and the opportunity presented itself, I was like, I gotta do this. And I was bored. I gotta do this. But the reality of running that restaurant, listen to me, it is a 16-hour-a-day job. You hear me? It's 16 hours a day. And also, there's a lot of things that I missed out on. Like I missed out on Brazil trips with my fellas, like Rayshawn. Shout out to Shirt Off Rayshawn. I call him Shirt Off Shawty Rayshawn. He always walking around with his shirt on. You know, shout out to Zeke. Shout out to Java. Shout out to a lot of my people that are in the expat community, that are in the expat lifestyle, in my private mentorship group. And I missed out on a lot of trips, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to be there. Like I have to make sure that it run, make sure that it was there. Like when the bartender called in sick, I needed to be the bartender. When the chef called in sick, I needed to be the chef, especially because all the recipes and all the food was my own. I taught the kitchen staff how to make American style food. And I realized that that's not what I wanted. And in the Dominican Republic, you have to have a very strong eye on your business in order to make it successful, and or have a manager that can do the business the way that you want the business to be ran in order to make it work. And that was difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, make it sound fly to you. I'm gonna give it to you all the way straight. That was very difficult for me. And you know, my heart is in construction and building and traveling and coaching and consulting. And so a lot of my energy and effort was spent in making Atlanta Lights what it was. And I'm grateful that it paid off, you know, with the sale. But nevertheless, that's not what I wanted for my life. Like right now, I got some money in my pocket, and it's my birthday week. I'm excited. I'm already getting ready to go. Like I was shout out to Java. I was just talking to Java today that I'm planning a trip at the end of the week. I'm hitting up 2 locations to celebrate my birthday. So I'm excited about, like, that's what I want to do. Like that's what I really want to do. And so I explained that to the owner. And to be honest, to be very transparent with you guys, my family was one of the main reasons why they said that I wasn't myself. Like, you guys remember when I went back to Detroit, when I had that death in the family, and I closed the restaurant for a moment. We was doing some renovations to the place. Like we were painting and doing some things to the pergola outside. And also because I wasn't there to keep my eye on things, I decided to just close it. Let me just go on vacation. Let me close it. You know what I'm saying? And when I was talking to my family, they were seeing the amount of stress that it had on me. And they was like, yeah, it's successful. You know what I'm saying? It's doing very well, but at what cost? Because I left the United States to have a better quality of life. Like, the business model that I'm going to go into, and I'm going to share that on a completely different video where I'm going to talk about how I'm going to invest the funds to this into another project. I'm going to talk to you guys about all of that later. But they saw the difference in me, they saw the difference in me, that I was back to my old self. You know, I was able to really enjoy life. Like, life is for the living. You know, I would say all the time, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And I was so focused on trying to push and make Atlanta Lights what it needed to be. Despite all the odds, it took a lot of my energy and my effort, and it took a lot of my income producing time, as well as it took a lot of my quality of life. And I shared this with the owner because originally, back in November was when he came with his offer. And I said, let me think about it. I talked to my mother about it. I talked to my mentor about it. Talked to my brother about it. Talked to my uncle about it. I talked to Big Mike about it. Shout out to Big Mike for Dominican Travel Group, one of my very good close friends. And at the end of the day, I said, you know what? Business is all about buying it for $1 and selling it for $2.
Of course, this is neither the time nor the place, but I thought I might get at you for a moment. Got a proposition here.
Go ahead for the call, man.
Ain't exactly talking out of turn when I say that West Side dope been weak for a while now. Every dope fiend in the city know that Avon been putting out piss. Thing is, y'all got the best territory and no kind of product. I got the best product, but could stand a little more territory, so you see where this thing need to go.
Well, now, you know Avon fought real hard for them towers. I mean, we took down the Rayford brothers, Big Dennis Woodson, I mean.
Should've just been the string. Buy for $1, sell for $2. That all it need be. You got the towers, I got what goes in them. Later for all that bullshit.
I'll talk to Avon.
You do that, Holmes. Do that.
And that's it. Buy for $1, sell it for $2. And that's the number 2 thing when it comes to real estate investments, that you cannot be emotionally attached to real estate. At the end of the day, it's all about making a profit. So yes, ideally, I wanted to sell the restaurant for millions and millions of dollars. You know, like that's how come when you hear about how Applebee's sold, how much they sold their, so when Applebee's went public, how much they went public for. When TGI Fridays went public, how much they went public for. Like if you listen to about Starbucks and all these other companies, how they went public and what they went public for, that was ideally my business model. But at the end of the day, when I had to look at my quality of life and I had to look at how I was living and how I was feeling, it was better for me. The opportunity came to where I was able to sell the restaurant and not take a loss and make a profit and move forward. So let's talk about how I was able to do so. Because like I said, this is a channel dedicated to entrepreneurship. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna use it as an opportunity to teach. So real estate investment, like I said, is easy. You guys saw the other scenario that I used, how I talked about $75,000, the property appraised for $125,000, you put 15 in it, you sell it for $125,000, you make a profit of $30,000. Well, the restaurant business is a little different. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you acquire a property. There are 2 ways that you go about it when you own a restaurant. Let's say, for instance, you acquire the property and you own the land. So let's say, for instance, hypothetically speaking, you bought the land for $200,000. So you purchased the property for $200,000. The appraised value of the property, let's say, is $225,000. Not much profit in all, not a lot of equity. But you now invested into making the property worth something because of the restaurant. So let's say you have this restaurant, and this restaurant is popping. You know, it's selling out. You have people that are talking about it all over the world. And now you have cruise ships coming into your ports. And the cruise ships coming into your ports 7 days a week, you have the #1 restaurant that's trending on Google and trending on YouTube, and you got people that are lining up outside to come to your restaurant. That are lining up outside wanting to be at your restaurant. You have videos that are going viral. You have videos with 100,000 views. You have videos of just your wait staff, just your waitresses, just how your pretty girls that are serving drinks, 10,000 views. All of this adds up. So now what happens is you have to take how much money you made within your first year. So let's say, for instance, hypothetically speaking, you made $150,000 of income your first year. So that means that monthly you're knocking down $13,000 per month, hypothetically speaking. So that means what you were able to do is you're able to take the proceeds, the $200,000 that the property is worth, plus you're looking at an income of producing of $150,000 per year. Then what you would do is you would take that, and most of the time you'll multiply that by 10, and that is what the appraised value of a restaurant could be for. Ideally, what you could do is you could sell the restaurant for what the estimated value would be for 10 years, financing it. Ideally, that's what it could be. So let's say, for instance, You're making $150,000 per month, per year. You're making $150,000 per year off the restaurant. You invested $200,000 into the property. So that means that ideally, you should be able to sell that from $500,000 to $700,000. Ideally, hypothetically speaking. That's how it goes when it goes to selling a restaurant. What you do is you take the value of the property, if you own the property, and then you take the gross earnings, income coming in, and then you multiply that by either 5 years or 10 years is the estimated value of that property. That's how you're able to see these big chains sell for $7, $8, $9, and $10 millions of dollars. And that's it. So when January came around and my birthday came up, because you know my birthday is January 31st, we were closed down for the first 2 weeks of January because of all the Saints days. Like, one thing about the Dominican Republic, they have a lot of holidays. And so we said, okay, let's not open. Let's continue to work on things. Let's continue to renovate. Let's continue to make Atlanta Lights the best version of itself. Then the gentleman came around again. He said, hey, if you're serious, this is my final offer. And I said, and this is an offer that I could not refuse. When I thought about it, yeah, I'm not making as much money as I wanted to make, but at the end of the day, I'm not taking a loss. Now, I don't know exactly when he's going to reopen, but technically Atlanta Lights is closed. He has the property, he has a location, but I yet and still have the name. So if indeed I wanted to open up an Atlanta Lights in Cartagena or Colombia or Brazil or in another location like that, then I'm able to do so without any legal ramification. So I know you guys want to know, Dean, how much did you sell it for? What did you sell it for? What did you let it go for? What was the offer that you could not refuse? Let me tell you guys something. That is that irritates the black off my back. That's my number one pet peeve. Whenever somebody say, oh, how much you pay for that? Oh, how much that cost? Whenever somebody does something like that, that is like my number one pet peeve. Like, I've always been taught that, you know, people don't brag. Like, millionaires and people with wealth, they don't really brag about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. They don't do that. They don't brag about that stuff. But I know my audience, and I know you guys want to know how much I made off of Atlanta Lights. So here to go. I made.
Got him! Got him! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
You guys really thought that I was going to tell you guys, come on now. Who raised you? No. But I will say this. Make sure that you subscribe. If you want to know about business development, business credit, how you can start a business, how you can grow a business, this is the number one channel for you. This is the number one channel we're dedicated to economic empowerment and entrepreneurship. If you guys want to know what my next ventures are, what I want to do, I will say this. You guys know that I have a land in Detroit. I'm focusing on that. But also, I'm going to be looking at some Airbnb opportunities. So make sure you guys take a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for that, for the Airbnb for the Airbnb content. So I'm going to do some content based around Airbnbs as well. And that's it, guys. So I want to say thank you guys so much for following the journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you share this, because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions and they want to know, Dean, what's going on? Dean, what's going on? Dean, what's going on? I said, you know what? Let me just make a video and let me celebrate with you guys. Man, this is good. It's bittersweet. Bittersweet. Remember, the only person stopping you from being successful is you. If you don't know it, you can learn it. If you don't have a mentor, you have met him. I will be your mentor. If you don't have the character, you can develop the character to be successful. The only person stopping you from being successful is you. Go get them. Success is waiting for you.
Like Jesus.